Hello, folks. This is Bob Safale. I'm very excited to have you here at our webinar tonight. We have some very interesting news across the boards. But before I get started, we've had some difficulty with some of the mics, and I just want to see if right now you can hear me clearly. So just go ahead and click on your little hand in the upper right-hand corner of your page to let me know if you can hear me clearly. Just click on your little hands there, back and forth. Okay, just want to make sure if you can hear me, hit your hand on the upper right hand side. Very good. Okay, so as I said, we have a lot of information to cover tonight. That's for doggone sure. And I'm going to test one other thing here. Let's see if this works. I want to just make sure you can hear me really good. Okay. Let's see if this is a little better. Okay, I'm getting a better signal strength with this mic, so I'm just going to go with this and hope for the best. So I just want to remind you all the major purpose of this particular webinar is to educate you on several things, trends and technical advancements. And when I say trends, I mean things like what's happening in different countries, what's happening in the financial world in terms of crypto, in terms of digital currencies. So these are all the kind of things that I'm looking at right now. So I'm looking for all those different categories of activity. So that's kind of numero uno. And then in terms of technical developments, I'm also looking for what's happening technically, what changes are occurring and advancements in technology. So those are the two things I try to cover in this event. Now, we always start with news, like what's happening lately, and that's a big focus of what I like to talk about. So the first piece of news is this. There's something happening with how people are describing the cryptocurrency world in general. And there's a lot of conversation about, should we say the term blockchain? Should we be talking about crypto without touching on the word blockchain? And there's kind of an interesting reason why. And that's because there are technical faults that are happening with blockchain that are really hurting the overall public relations of cryptocurrencies. And what I mean by that is transition speeds are still a challenge on Bitcoin itself. And, who's surprised? Because remember, you have to have on your typical Bitcoin coin, you have a long chain of transactional history. And the more transactions that occur on Bitcoin, the longer that tail of transactional history is grown. It just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And unfortunately, it's not like it's going to get less. It's only going to get bigger as more and more people utilize Bitcoin. And what's happening is people are beginning to understand that the blockchain concept, although kind of interesting and very useful in many cases, is not necessarily fantastic once you have massive consumer usage. Now, maybe blockchain is good for large scale financial equity movement. Like, let's say you have a bank that wants to move a significant asset from one branch to the next, and using blockchain can make that possible. And I'm not talking about Bitcoin, I'm talking about blockchain, right? Well, that's okay because it's not, when you have a bank to bank transaction like that, it's not like they're expecting the transaction to happen like instantaneously. If they're trying to move $50,000, $100,000, $150,000, it's not like they're worried about the transmission speed or the transaction speed. In which case, blockchain makes sense. If you have other products where there's not millions of people involved all at the same time, where security is more important than transmission speed, blockchain's fantastic. But when you're talking about a currency that's supposed to be used for everyday type of transactions, all the way down to, purchasing coffee at a Starbucks, transition transmission speed almost becomes more important than security, although obviously security is very important whenever you're talking about money. But it depends on the problem that a particular currency or a particular token is trying to solve. The whole point of having a digital or a cryptocurrency or a digital asset moving across the internet is it's moving an asset from one place to the next, or a valuable from one place to the next. Okay, that's the valuable part of having some type of digital currency. It's the ease of payment, the ease of transition, the ease of movement of either an asset, a valuable, something. So you have to take a look at what each of these coins does. What is its purpose? There are digital currencies that are pure currencies. They're not a pre-sold service, a pre-sold action, a pre-sold contract. They're just a currency. In which case, since people want to use a currency to buy and sell stuff, the transmission speed is very important. So, as you all have heard, with blockchain, as it's getting more and more use with Bitcoin, it's requiring more and more energy consumption. Okay. There was even in Norway the possibility that one of the biggest Bitcoin miners is going to be shut down because of the energy problems and even noise, believe it or not. So you really have to take a look at with a digital currency or a cryptocurrency, the point with this new development, it's the safe transmission of a valuable or an asset from one point on the internet to the next, whether it's a mobile phone, whether it's a laptop, and I know people are still using desktops, but the point is that's the valuable. That's what's surprised everybody, because you also have taken assets out of, in many cases, it's out of the control of many countries, governments. Now, there's a lot of people who like that because maybe in their country, like in Venezuela, the 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 inflation rate or the reduction in the value of their currency has been enormous. I saw some report that came out that if somebody had purchased $1 million worth of the Venezuelan, you know, government currency like 4 years ago, that $1 million worth of that currency is now worth less than $4. Well, that's an unacceptable inflationary issue, right? So this is one of the reasons why so many people in so many countries, not necessarily the super developed countries like, say, the United States or Germany or England, it's the other, say 100 underdeveloped or developing countries where a currency itself is that's not necessarily directly controlled by the government, that has more independence from an inflationary activity, is solving a problem. So it's very interesting that you now have a lot of talk about, hey, let's not use this term blockchain in some instances because it has a connotation that is not helpful. So this is starting to come out, and this is coming out more and more and more as people are learning, well, what's powering Bitcoin, what's powering Ethereum, now, as an example, Ethereum has a product that's on it called Crypto Kitties, which is essentially it's kind of like a fad like product where people can have their own little cats and they design their own cats and they can sell the cats or the kitties, whatever. There was such a spike in activity on Ethereum's network that it really literally shut down transmissions in some cases for hours and hours. So you had such a huge mass amount of activity for this crypto kitties fad that it affected every single other currency, including Ethereum itself. It affected it adversely. So there's a lot of attention zeroing in now on what is the blockchain useful for and what is it not useful for. So that leads me to the next big story. UPS eyes blockchain for tracking global shipping data. Now, once again, what's interesting here is that more and more people are focusing, because of Bitcoin and because of the term blockchain, on what is this? More and more people are starting to focus, wow, what's happening? Why is it useful? Why are people, why is the value going up? So the overall usefulness of secure digital asset delivery and transport, that's really what people are kind of, if you take a look at, what's happening with blockchain, what's happening with uh, cryptocurrency in general, what you have is a secure digital method of transmitting a valuable from one place to the next. And that underlying product is what really has got so many people excited. So really it's a recognition of, wow, there's some way that we could move an asset or a valuable from one place to the next. And it doesn't necessarily have to be a currency, like a dollar. It could be a very large amount of currency. It could be a very large thing, like with Celebrium, you have a digital collectible. Instead of having a baseball card that could be fake, sold, and shipped overnight from FedEx to somebody, they get the card, then they find out it's a fake, and now they know how to get their money back. You understand? With at least a digital collectible, you have a much, much higher likelihood of having something, particularly Celebrium, that's actually real and not fake. Okay, that's exciting for the collectible world, which is $370 billion. Okay, so this, if you guys think of this whole explosion of Bitcoin slash blockchain slash digital currency, okay, this kind of universe, what we're really talking about is the recognition of a secure digital asset or valuable that can be easily transferred from one place to the next, from person to person, rather than from person to government to person, or person to a bank to a bank to another person. You understand that? What we're talking about is getting rid of the middleman. There's a lot of discussion on, what is the middleman? Is it a parasite? Is it an unnecessary bridging step? Is it something we don't really need, or which is actually something that can impede progress? So that's, once again, if you take a look at kind of what the trend, if you take a look at worldwide trends, that's been happening over the last 25 years, particularly with things like Facebook, like Amazon, like eBay. What you're really happening are people transacting directly to the other side of the transaction and the getting rid of an unnecessary person in between or even multiple people in between. Amazon has gotten rid, in many cases, of many layers of people when you're buying a product from somebody directly instead of going to a store, and that store has to go to a wholesaler, and that wholesaler has to buy from another wholesaler. You got the idea? So I want everybody to start thinking when you're looking at digital currencies, when you're looking at anything with the word blockchain in it, you want to look at what problem are they solving, and you want to look at the fact that what's the overall thing that's occurring here. And I'm going to say it again just for, just for a little more emphasis. What you're talking about is the peer-to-peer or person directly to a person transmission of an asset or a valuable securely direct. And that's essentially what the internet has made now possible. Okay? So there you go. So UPS, here's a huge company that's now is looking at using the blockchain to do the tracking of global shipping data. That's a pretty big deal. If you ever had a package lost or stolen, that's pretty important. Now that may not be happening in some, fully developed countries, like I said, like Japan or United States or Germany or France. But if you're talking about, and I can tell you, I tried shipping packages from my celebrity business. I was trying to ship products to a celebrity who happened to be, and I believe, in Brazil. It took me 3 shipments to finally get the product for them to do a photograph endorsement. The first 2 were stolen, and I tried to use UPS. So once again, this news regarding UPS, not only do I think that's good for UPS, but I also believe it's important for this overall continuing education and continuing dissemination of the value of a direct peer-to-peer secure transmission of a valuable or an asset. Because when you take out the middle person, and you feel comfortable taking out the middle person, because oftentimes the middle person, the person in between, or layers in between, have supposedly been a safeguard for people. They felt more comfortable doing a transaction. When you have this secure digital asset and you feel comfortable with the security of the technology, that's huge. Now, one last point on this, okay? The worldwide annual gross worldwide product, or how much goods or services are sold annually worldwide, is $100 trillion. So worldwide sales and delivery of products is now at $100 trillion. Now, as lots of people like to do, what's now happening is that peer-to-peer secure digital asset or digital valuable is taking a bigger and bigger chunk of that direct payment process. On $100 trillion, if you're as early in this field as you are, and everybody here is real early, remember there's only 26 million wallets that have been distributed and utilized. Only 26 million. There's 7 billion people living out there, right? Okay. So this is big news. So that's That's news. That's the trends happening. Now, I want to talk specifically about something that I've been working on, that I've had a major, serious marketer working on. I've had our whole company working on. We've been working on this for 7 months, and I'm going to tell you what that is. But I'm going to start out by telling you the problem we're solving. Okay, because Kevin Harrington, who's a Shark Tank, investor, famous guy, launched 500 products in 30 years. He always tells me a product or a service has to solve a pain point, something the person wants to resolve. Uh, so the pain point here is this. Okay, well, all right, what's the pain point? The pain point is that most people have heard of cryptocurrency, but don't have a clue what it is. So by survey, and we surveyed this, the number one thing that people want from the cryptocurrency universe is knowledge right now. They want to know, what the heck is this? What is it? It's funny. You'd think, well, what's the number one thing? Oh, we want to have access to the top coins out there. Well, that isn't actually the number one thing. The number one thing that people want is an understanding of what the heck this industry is, because they hear all about it. But there's very few, if any, sources of education about what this cryptocurrency is all about. I mean, that's why you still have only 26 million wallets that are out there that are the you got to have a wallet in most cases to get and receive your currency or your token. So you have, something closing in on 1 billion people who've heard about cryptocurrency, but the vast majority, probably over 95%, do not have a clue what it is. So what Digital Frontier Marketing has been working on is a complete lineup of education from STEM to STERN. Now, for you folks that are involved with Digital Frontier Marketing as that they're involved with the LLC, have ownership stake, you're going to have a big smile on your face at the end of this conversation. For you people that may not have ownership stake in Digital Frontier Marketing, but own cloud coins, you're going to have a big smile on your face. For you folks that are now involved with Celebrium just prior to the launch, what I'm going to talk about is you're going to have a big smile on your face. So what we have done is we've gone and we've retained one of the top, I would say, 10 internet marketers in the world, who has carefully built out an educational funnel. I also call it a tunnel. And this educational funnel or tunnel is designed to attract people who want to know about cryptocurrency, who want to learn about it, who will register or subscribe for free to learn about it. So what we've done to start this funnel is we're about to launch a cutting edge crypto quiz. It is a quiz that effectively, and it's a very good quiz, will effectively allow you to go through, answer questions that are multiple choice, and at the end of the quiz, which won't take more than 60 seconds, it will be able to grade you as to where you are. What type of knowledge do you have? What do you lack? What should you do to improve your knowledge? And how can you rapidly increase your knowledge? So the first thing the crypto quiz does is it identifies where are you at on this knowledge, journey? Are you an absolute total beginner? Are you maybe, I know a little bit? The point is there's this huge gap between what I call the heardabouts and the knowabouts and the guys that know. The heardabouts, you have hundreds of millions of heardabouts. Those are heardabouts. I heard about crypto. And then there is a small number of knowabouts. They know about it. They got data about it. And then you have an even smaller little piece of folks who truly know. Now, the people who truly know, man, they are making a killing. The knowabouts, which is a bigger group, some are doing well, some are not doing well. They're kind of throwing darts at a board. But at least they know there's a board, and at least they know kind of where to toss the dart. And then you have somewhere on the order of several 100 million heardabouts. Well, I heard about cryptocurrency. Well, they're just kind of, they're just frozen because the heardabouts, if they could just know where to go to get data, they would go to it. So this crypto quiz identifies where is a person at. And that is about to launch within the next, I'm going to say, 96 hours. This crypto quiz is going to be everywhere. And I can tell you, we will build a very large base of folks that will register, who will have access to these webinars, and will have access to the next stage of activity, because this is a funnel. You could also call it a tunnel. It's a series of steps that helps to educate somebody. So the folks that register to get a free ebook or to attend these webinars, right after they register, then they learn about our info product. Now, this is the first stage. You've all heard about this. This is kind of our alpha test of digital experts intelligence report. Okay? The new and improved one in terms of the information is going to be amazing. And it will definitely, it's different. And it's going to take somebody who's kind of knows a little bit to a point where they are a true knower. They know this training system we're about to roll people through is going to take people from heard about to know, and it'll do it fast. So that's the second stage. And we're pricing it in the same fashion as we did for the original alpha test. And I'm thinking a small group of people who start the process. We're also going to supply cloud coins for those who register, because we want to see a small group of people go through the system and help us adjust and add to. So that's going to be happening. So when we launch this new and improved digital experts intelligence report, we're going to give a cloud coin bonus to the first people involved with that. Okay, so this is how our system works. Number one, people are doing the quiz. Number two, they're going to have access to our webinars. They're going to then have access to our digital experts intelligence report. Now we're getting people who are pretty smart and they know what's happening. Then they're going to start getting information about Celebrium. They'll start getting information about what we're doing with our new technology company, Rata Tech. They'll also have information on CloudCoin. They'll also have information about BitShares, and they got more information about that. And they're going to have more information about other products and services that we're going to be doing. Excuse me. So that's the next step. Then they're going to have access to the new and improved, excuse me, Vantage Point artificial intelligence trading platform. And we've basically taken that whole service line to help people be able to buy crypto at the right time. We've now broken it up into sections. We have a product for somebody to be able to choose what's their favorite cryptocurrency. And they can get access to the trading platform to give them when they should buy and sell on one currency. Then they could pick a second one, they'd pay a little bit more, and they could have two currencies. And then if they wanted the full range of trading, artificial intelligence trading information for all the currencies, they would pay a bit more. But I can tell you right now, that's a hell of a system. So if you take a look at what people are going to be accessing, they're going to be accessing the webinar, they're going to be accessing news alerts, they're going to then have access to digital experts intelligence report, then they're going to have access to the trading platform that's artificial intelligence based. Then last but not least, and we project that we should be in six figures of people in our subscriber base in a very short time. Six figures. That's for those who can count. That's 100,000 or more. We are then going to start having weekend events. And those are events where people can come and have access to experts in the digital currency world. These experts will come in, they'll speak, and you'll have direct access to these experts. This will be weekend events. You'll have access also to all the other people, because that's when things can really happen. So if you can imagine a huge networking event that we're going to be having periodically, that will be, when I say big, I mean really big, where we're going to have these events in places like Florida, Los Angeles, Chicago, New York, Texas, Dallas. And then we're, start thinking about what cities in the across in Europe that we want to go to. But that's where this whole tunnel or funnel or whatever you want to call it's going to. We're going to be attracting and building a huge community of people. That's what digital currency is all about. Digital currency marketing, about building a huge, huge community. And this community can be directed to some of the things we're already doing, like CloudCoin, like Rate Attack, like Celebrium. Okay? So that's the exciting news. We've been working on this for 7 months. We really want to thank our original digital expert intelligence report subscribers for getting involved. You gave us invaluable information. And we're now starting to build out, not starting, but starting, we're getting near the end of having a huge collection of additional knowledge base in our digital experts intelligence report system. So that's going to be all new. So I think you're going to like that. So if you, I'm going to be sending out a recording of this, of what I just went over regarding our whole info products product line. I'm going to be taking what I just talked about, and I am going to be sending out a notice over the weekend, and it will give a small group of people initial access to the Digital Experts Intelligence Report, the new and improved, and we are going to be doing bonus cloud coins with that, which will make everybody smile. And what I really like from these initial people is, we're going to be having people get involved with Digital Experts Intelligence Report. We're going to be doing surveys of them actively, so we know how to tweak and adjust and refine what we've been assembling and what we've been putting together over these many months. So that's what we're doing there. I want to give you a couple more updates before we wrap up. First of all, Sean Worthington has been working mightily with the BitShares people, and I think you already know I think about 10 days ago they were doing they were doing transactions where the test people were getting their BitShares wallets. They were then taking their cloud coins and exchanging the cloud coins through the wallet for the BitShares cloud coin, and then they were doing transactions. That was being done on essentially a manual basis. Then I think roughly 5 days ago, the automated system was tested out and works nicely. There's still always going to be beta, there's going to be testing. And interestingly enough, Sean relayed to me that when the automated systems was working and was being used and tested and used by what sounds like a good number of people, the price of CloudCoin within the system had rolled rapidly to 8 cents within, and that's just a harbinger of tremendous things to come. So Sean has been working on a video so that literally when they open up the what I could call the consumer access, broad consumer access, then you all can charge in there. You can watch the video and learn how to get your wallet, how to use your cloud coins to go into the system, to get your BitShares cloud coins. They have a specific name for it, and then how you transact in there. And remember, there's many currencies in the BitShares exchange platform. So I know he's been working on the video, the training video, because we know that there's going to be a lot of people who are going to want to get in there and do some things. And the worst thing that could happen is if we didn't have some way of training people so that we didn't create a mammoth customer service issue. Now, last but not least, I'm proud to announce that the NewCo name, the initial name is doing business as is called Rada Tech. Rada Tech. That's the marketing name. That's the big name that's going to be out there. Rada Tech, and that is the NewCo or the new company that basically owns the Rada technology. That's the anti-counterfeiting platform and technology that powers CloudCoin. That's the system that allows near instantaneous transactions to happen of the anti-counterfeiting digital currency known as CloudCoin. That's the technology that allows it to, in lightning speed, go from one person to the next without the need to charge fees, with full security, full speed, and also when you purchase cloud coins, obviously, or use cloud coins, the transactional history of that cloud coin isn't wrapped into the coin, which slows the speed down. It's just like I hand you a dollar. If I hand you a dollar, you're not asking me where that dollar's been, right? You don't do that. If I hand you $100 bill, you're not saying, hey, but I want to know where that $100 bill is to prove that it's a $100 bill. That's not necessary. You just know, okay, this $100 bill is right. Well, that's the Rada technology. It's the handing over of a valuable to somebody else. And I can tell you right now, there are over 20 major usages of the cloud, of the Rada Tech technology, from private currencies to the use of barter dollars, having a barter dollar. You probably don't, you probably may or may not know this. There's this whole huge world called barter, and they use dollars, barter dollars. Well, they are going to be a prime target to basically sell on a royalty basis or a licensing basis or on a software as a service basis. Those are the ideal people to provide the Rada Tech technology. I can also tell you without saying who, where, because you know, the minute I say where, you're going to know. Let's just say that we have had some significant discussions involving a major financial institution and the use of the Rada Tech throughout its network. And that's all I can say. But that's huge. Banking products are obviously a big deal. So Rada Tech is the name. I know many of you have requested the information about Rada Tech, all of the data. You want to know what's it doing? Is there involvement? What can I do? Well, I would say within 48 hours, anybody who has reached out to want more knowledge, you will be receiving an email giving you additional information, and all the plans we have for Radatech you will get along with more information. So if you are interested in learning about Radatech, uh, you need to email me at bob@digitalcurrencygrowth.com, bob@digitalcurrencygrowth.com, and just put in the subject line, I want to learn about Nuco. Actually, you could put, I want to learn about Radatech now. That's Raidatech, Radatech. If you have already emailed me, please don't email me again. Okay? If you've already emailed me, you don't need to do it again. In the next 48 hours or so, you will start receiving information on what we're doing there. Now, last but not least, let's go ahead and do our famous 5,000 cloud coin drawing. Here we go. And I'm getting pretty good at doing this now. Here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, number 95. Whoever was the 95th person here will be receiving 5,000 cloud coins. Now, I'm going to tell you now, that number is reducing again very soon from 5,000 cloud coins to 2,500 because already the price of cloud coins has been impacted with just the testing that's going on with BitShares. Yeah, I like giving away, the coins, and I like that, and it makes everybody excited. But with the value going up, it's going to be less. So I'm just giving you fair warning. In the next few weeks, that will change. So I want to thank you all for attending our briefing tonight. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you liked the information, and have a good weekend.